Okay. Full transparency. This shit means something to me. Okay. So I was working on my Wonder Woman vs. Thor video. And I started getting comments. Yo, Thor's dead. Yo, Thor just died. Yo, Thor got put on a t-shirt. Cover this shit. Sure enough, issue 24 is that shit crazy of Immortal Thor. But his death is a lot crazier with context than you think, and it proves what I said. He solos pretty much everybody, okay? Thor's the GOAT. He's right up there with Superman. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Like, in terms of where they scale right now, Thor's insane. And if you guys love videos like this and you want to see a full movie on Immortal Thor, because I haven't covered it issue-wise in a long time, you get this to 400 plus likes. Nah, I'm gonna make it a little harder for you guys. 450. I will review every issue up to the death of Thor. So that's 1 through 24. I will make it a literal movie with my commentary. You guys get the likes up, we'll make that happen. Without further ado, let's jump into issue 24. So this starts off, right, with Thor understanding he's got to proceed forward in a story that's frankly going to get him killed. Like, this is a situation that's extreme. They just took down the heart of an endless city, a city of the Utgard, right? Their strongest god. Gamor, I think, is how you pronounce it. I'm gonna butcher a lot of names. I'm gonna forget names, frankly. I don't give a shit. This is America. This is Yancey Street. But we know at this point it's getting spooky, right? Like, Loki's running around with an eternity mask arrow, wishing a bitch would. Like, it's real shicey out here. We need weapons like that. And Thor is getting pulled up on for putting down this city, right? And at this point, we see Utgard Loki, who is God of Stories Loki, the OG version, right? And he's like, look, real shit. I'm looking down on this story. I could fuck with it if he's talking to us. He's talking to the readers. He's like, I could fuck with it if I want to. He's grabbing panels of the story as Thor and them are running through trying to stop this. And he's like, yo, I could put them in an endless panel loop. Basically, sorry, hairball. Basically make them see what I want them to see. But instead, we're going to let the rules play out. The rules of comic books, which is the story unfold. And in this story, we see Thor and his gang, including Scourge, who, granted, I will say this, 99 pull-up grade. Like, he's down. He dead ass is down to die for the squad. We will give him credit for that, okay? You will not disrespect that aspect of his character. However, if you were to say he's a fraud, he's a jobber, and he's not going to beat anyone in a serious fight that's worth anything, valid. We're not checking for Scourge. But regardless, he's 10 toes. And Thor's looking at this situation. The Utgard Gate is what keeps everything beyond, including the Utgard, the Endless City, and the other Shul gods there, or elder gods there. It stops them from invading all of Marvel's creation, right? Utgard Loki's looking down on them. He's like, hey, Thor, imagine how shitty your day would be if I just got rid of the gate. And Thor's like, what? He's like, yeah, there's no more gate. Gate's just gone. Instantly, it's gone. The story of the gate disappears. This allows everyone behind it to prepare to start flooding all of Marvel. It's done for, whether it's Asgard, Midgard, Yggdrasil, whatever it is, it's about to get flooded. And Scourge is standing there, and he's like, yo, Thor, we need to get out of here. Like, all of Marvel is about to get flooded. The gate's gone. And Thor looks over at him and says, no, brother, I am the gate. When I tell you, he's the most fucking Chad thing you can conceive of. Thor, when written, bless you, Al Ewing. Thor, when written correctly, is goated. Like, you just don't get more raw than him. I'm sorry, you don't get more Yancey Street than Thor when he's locked the fuck in, okay? He said, brother, I am the gate. Let me give you further context. He's looking down the barrel of the endless city. This stretches into infinities beyond the concept of infinity, okay? This is powered by the strongest Utgard god to ever exist. That's also been growing stronger because it's been dormant. Put this down, the endless city is sliding on him. And there's also another Utgard god of mysteries, literally non-stories to things, the inexplicable, like why we're afraid of the dark. Things that go bump in night. Things we can't predict, we don't know of, we can't tell stories of truly because we just don't know them. The non-story, the mystery, that inexplicability is manifested in the god itself, and it starts putting hands on Thor. Thor's fighting all of this shit, right? And he's telling everyone, like, look, as I make my stand, get out of here. Because Scourge didn't want to leave. And he said, look, brother, I got to do this shit. You hold down the bridge. I'm holding down the gate. If I fall, someone's got to be there. And Scourge was like, all right, bet. First of all, if Thor falls, Scourge is cooked. There's nothing Scourge can do. Let's be so real about that shit. Like, if we're being honest, Thor needed room to cook. Scourge just does not scale. He doesn't. Unless Thor actively gives him power, and no, he'd be useless. So anyway, Thor is facing them down, and the Utgard get a hold of him, and they're like, yo, all your people abandoned you. All of creation is about to fall, and look at the mighty Thor, sitting here alone and abandoned. Thor said, no, I'm not alone. I'm not abandoned. The storm is always with me. Instantly summons a massive fucking storm, like the size of where they're fighting. And the Utgard are like, oh shit, he's a lot stronger than we thought. Utgard, Endless City immediately starts retreating once he unleashes his power. Like, Thor is not holding back because Thor is convinced he's gonna die right here. He's like, if I'm gonna die, I'm lacing him up one last time and I'm beating the shit and all these things. And he's putting the claws on them. Like, he's blasting through them. He's like, look, you might be the Endless City, you might be the god of mystery, but I'm the god of lightning. I'm the god of thunder. I'm the god of storms. Like, let's get it in. And he's beating the shit out of them. Endless City had to run, had to retreat. He puts down this god, and as he's holding it in place, and it's begging Thor to stop, Thor looks at him and says, yo, I started my battle with my axe. Where is it now? And at that moment, it flies back to Thor, completely dismembering this eldest god, this Utgard god, putting him down. Hermod, his blade, is the end of all mysteries. It cuts through stories and non-stories, even mysteries. It does not matter. It's a reflection of what Thor is. And as Thor made them all run off the block and he folded the rest that stayed, he's standing there covered in his blood and just bruised up and goes, holy shit, I'm alive. And at that point, he sees Lady Sif, right, who is acting in the role of Heimdall. And she had seen the end of everything and the end of Thor in an instant. And she's looking there smiling at Thor. She's like, oh my God, he actually clutched up. And Thor at that moment realizes, okay, after all this, I'm settling down with Sif. Like, that's my bitch. Like, I'm rolling with her. Like, he realizes that it's been thousands of years. Thor's been running down on plenty of hoes. It's time to lock in, right? He's like, this is my true love. That's how my story's going to end. And as he realizes that, Loki, God of Stories Loki, sneaks up on him with the Eternity Mask arrow and stabs him in the back as it says Thor dies. The end saying the death of Immortal Thor. Now think about that implication. A weakened, tired Thor who just took on everything I just told you about, which for the scaling nerds, high outer shit, right? Bare minimum. Big man things. And he put them in the dirt. Like, it's fucked up. It took him worn out. This God of Stories Loki, who scales above the All-Rider, who scaled, easily was contending with the powers of the Beyonder. This Loki needed the Eternity Mask to help hurt and put down this Thor. Think about that. That's absurd. The Eternity Mask can put down Beyonder. It can put down pretty much anything in Marvel, okay? It was put in place to help kill the enemy of Toa, or the one above all, and Eternity. That's why it's so broken, in case you were wondering. So he needed to use that on a weakened Thor. Enough said. Case closed. Thor's fucking broken. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think of this story down below. If you want me to cover Immortal Thor in my own movie style up to this point, 1 through 24, let me know. I had a lot of fun covering this issue. Stay tuned for my versus battles that are coming up. And yeah, anyways, it's been your host. And remember, it's Yancey Street, bitches.